cleaning these pins off with some mild detergent. Pretty gentle brush.
You'd like cleaning that name there, 33B. You like those letters, yeah.
Some of these slightly more stubborn spots need some pumice stone.
Just a little bit, yeah. You watch it, you wear the brass right up. That looks like it's through to that funky color. See it? That, whatever that is.
It's dark around this ring.
Yeah, I have to touch that up a little bit. Look at how dirty it is. What a contrast over here. Ooh, filthy, filthy. It's nice though. That's original dirt, I think. I don't think anybody's ever cleaned this plate. The way the grunge is stuck to the surface. Filthy, filthy. But this is acceptable. It's very, very good. We're lucky.
Okay, here's this little piece. That was here. Here's this piece. And this piece. Now we can go out for the soundboard. This is great. These will go right back. Nice original pieces of pine.
Always strange A-graphs. See, a 1236 fits. But it fits not perfect. That's how we does fit good until it gets down to about there. I don't know how it can be that way. Got burrs on here. Does seem to be the size. It's a 1236. But I don't have one of these. And this is not the way machinists store their taps, by the way. We got these from somewhere else. It might be one of these. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to send this off to send one of these off to the Fuller Company in Rhode Island. Get a tap and die for this. I don't seem to have one. Just went for a walk in our lumber yard and I found this piece here. This came from a Bechstein. We repaired a Bechstein about 5-6 years ago, or even more. And this has a pretty good grain. Nice even grain. There's a good one. A curly maple. It's a good high pitch. Got a big knot here though. Some kind of problem. But I pulled it out of the warehouse. So here's another one that came from old piano stuff. It's over 100 years old. Look at the grain in this, how tight that is. And uniform the whole length. And this is sugar maple. Grain is this way, but we can patch them together. It's got the right pitch. Okay, and here is a side of the Steinway upright that we had hanging around. And this one is probably the prize. Look at the grain in this board. It is beautiful quarter sawn grain running the whole length. And we can certainly get a lot of material out of this. Or this over here. This part of this pin block from from here to here is the most important part. We're going to save this, but we're going to replace the pin field with this old maple. And the grain has to run this way, because these pins here, they buck against this quarter sawn grain. The grain that runs this way, the pins buck against it between the plate, squishes that wood between the plate. You can see where it dams it up here. Those are crushed cells, if you're going to find some anywhere in a piano. So we're going to strip the finish off this wood here, see what we got, and I think this is going to be our prize. I know this is from 1890s or so, maybe 1910, somewhere around the turn of the century. So that's pretty well aged, wouldn't you think?
Here's the first section. That's a big glue joint. We got it off though. Wow. I think that's the thickest belly rail glue joint we've seen. It's bigger than the Mason and Hamlin. So now we can continue working. Here's the bottom half of the soundboard on the belly rail glue joint. And it looks like these two little pieces got stuck in there in the factory. That one goes in the other one. Looks like it's square. Looks like a chunk of a dowel. Small dowel, half round. This was in there. And there's some tiny damage on the case where they tried to dig it out, it looks like.
Yeah, they made a mistake.
Here's a sliver from the case.
Somebody screwed up. Some of the maple we dug out of the barn here, it was up in the, it was outside in the barn, so it's going to be acclimated in here. We're going to take a moisture meter reading here. About 11. Oh, try it again. Got a tube in there, vacuum tube. It takes a second to warm up, but then the reading is there, right about 11%. That's not too bad. It's actually been pretty dry out here. We got rain today, but we haven't had any rain in quite some time. So let's take another one. These are the woods. This is the wood I'm going to use for the pin block. We're going to see. I thought it'd be higher than that. Usually it's about 14. Let's see. There you go. The midget wood meter. It's the same. It was in the same place. We'll see that drop down to here when we glue it together. So, this is kind of a handy tool to have. Keeps you from guessing.
Another observation is that this board it's fit pretty well here on this long side. Usually they're fit a little better than this. There is a space. Space over here too. Some spaces here. This is some pretty ugly damage from when we were taking that molding off. That is no problem. There's space here. Look at this giant space. That's how it sat. We may be able to correct that a little to add to the glue joint. Just taking note of these spaces. This is good. The bridge is perfect. Still, I believe it's ready to pull out. So I'll get some help and then we can remove the board. Okay, everything's unglued. First time this board's going to be out in 153 years. There's that. There's some stuff there glued in from the factory.
Oh yeah.
They tried to dig it out. It's a little damaged there.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
They made mistakes too. You see that? Looks like a piece of a hammer shank or something. Uh-oh. Did it re-glue itself? No. Boy, it fits good, huh? Tight. Voila. We have removed the board. It's a big one. Oh, we get to see the other side. Very cool, man.
I don't see any signatures or dates. Sometimes there's dates on the glue joint. Nothing.
Too bad. Glue joint. Wow. Look at how wide that one was. Now that's a wide glue joint for a belly rail. Whoa. And we got this thing here, cutoff bar, node adjuster. Okay, going over this. Good enough.
Okay, we're going to clean this a little bit now. Ridiculous filth. These are gross. Never ever clean it. It's like thick dust. Fine coal dust and stuff that's been floating in the air forever. It's funny how these ribs go in so little. Usually they go like out to here. Little ribs. That one, look at that one. There's almost nothing holding it. There's little spaces here, a hole there. Over here's an odd notch too. Here we go. Much cleaner now. All the glue is gone. These are just about ready to receive the ribs and soundboard again. This is going to get a nice bath later. Saved a few small, oops, they're not in that bag, but we saved a few small slivers and chunks that are going to be glued back. This one, it's a little piece missing where the rib sits, that'll go back. Here's where, again, factory glued some wood in between the soundboard and it looks like they were trying to dig it out. Maybe we should put those pieces back. Original. It looks much cleaner now. And over here we have these screws and buttons. Those are going to come out. And then we'll start taking these ribs off. Take this off too. This big cutoff bar type thing. It's only attached to the rim on the ends. I guess it's not a true cutoff bar. And the ribs go right through it. It looks like the notch is cut out. So we'll start working on these ribs and come back once we've made some progress. The buttons are a little different than normal. Different style. They'll probably all come off. I think there's only one that might split. This one's already split. That might glue back together though. So we'll take the buttons off and then start working on the ribs. Okay, here's the cutoff bar. Very clean. Still needs to be stripped. It's got the old finish on there. That goes there. Right now I'm going to glue back this little sliver. That goes in here. That's where the rib sits. That's kind of important. And this broke. That'll go right back. Help with the glue joint here, and I might as well put it back while we can. These were like this. This is kind of chewed up. It was pretty messy up here from the factory. There was bits of chunks of wood all glued there. You can see in the previous video, probably. This might need a little bit of repair. It's a little damaged. Everything else is nice. It's very clean now, too. All these nice beams. You can see some of these beams had knots in them. What must have been knots. They plugged them. Caps. That one goes all the way through. There's another one down there. Nice wood. What a difference. Back to the ribs. These are pretty funky ribs. We might look at these closer later. The scalloping and the way they're shaped. Buttons are off too. We can now go after the bridge. We'll flip this over and do that. These are all clean, ready to be stripped. Some of these will need some slight repairs. This is, I think, the worst one. I split it in half, but it's still together. Just put some glue in there and that'll be just about as good as new. This one looks like it curves the other way, actually. We'll clean this all off and go after the bridge. And panels like this can be sliced. Continue this crack. Slice it off, nice even break, and then we can glue this little piece back. And these will go back together. Might just break off. We'll be gentle with it. This whole thing is split in half, actually. I think the bridge is the only thing holding it on. Oh, here. Same thing. We'll just continue that cut. We'll move this whole panel off and work on it later. You'll see. Here's this large panel. It looks like I can just slowly open this and that split will continue. Perfect. one of those buttons. Those are not original. Those are repairs. Someone put those on. This is pretty flimsy too. This will probably do the same. You just slice this. Can't do it with one hand, but this is good. We're moving along. We'll get the bridge off soon, and then come back. Here's the other side of the board. Be gentle. No signatures, no numbers. Came off perfectly. Got little locating pins on these. Come on, camera. It's in great shape. This is very nice. Looks like it was loose here for a while. It's so filthy. Dirt under there. Very nice. Now we can disassemble some more of the panel. Go after these big cracks. This one will probably go back together. Solid here. We'll take a much closer look at it later. The board needs some help. We'll clean up and then set up to start working on the board. Just did a bunch of gluing on this inner rim here. That should be nice and solid tomorrow, and then we can flip this case over and do the other side. Still have our nice tag intact there, protected. And over here, first joint I'm going to unglue is this one right here. It's strange they have such different woods. They have one strip of wood, one board, that goes down the whole length of the board. That's a very different grain. You can see it on both sides how wide it is. It's a little unusual. Right here, this is a seam. This will let go easy, and then we can put our own wood back in there. Antique wood, very old wood, not new wood. This crack will probably go back together. So I'll unglue this, and then look at the other panels that need ungluing, and work our way from there. Here we go. That was quick. Put this one in the pile, and now we have this one. These corners usually shrink a lot, and then we lose the glue joint. So I'm going to open up this seam, and we'll probably end up putting a little board in there. An expansion spacer for the shrinkage. I'll unglue this right now. Here's the triangular piece. We have our nice flat joint here that we can glue our expansion spacer to. That's looking good, and now we have this piece. Looks like this seam is going to have to come off maybe this one's kind of... Oh. Already let go. Slice that. Don't let it travel down the board as we rip it off. Unglue that. And might as well do this one too. This one's loose all the way. Not very good light. There is a seam. It's not on the seam, the split. It's very close to it. So we'll just unglue this. And then we should be all set with the panels. So we'll have to clean them up next.